Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be looking at two things. The first would be how we can convert the Tradingview indicator to a strategy using AI or a model like ChatGPT, and also how you can use it on any other model like DeepSeek or whatever you prefer to use. And the second thing is I'm going to be showing you an update that I've been working on for the past few months on a new trading board that's working with live data, and I will give you a link where you can apply for the waitlist. Now let's get started by going to Tradingview. Before we can actually convert the indicator to a strategy, we first need the indicator we'd like to convert. Now whether you have found one on the Tradingview library, or you basically have already created one that you created yourself off of already an AI agent, it doesn't really matter. All we need to have the source code, because we're going to take that code, give it to the AI model, and then we're going to give it a few prompts so it can add those settings to us to make it a strategy. And then we're also going to ask it to add alerts so we can use it for automation. So I'm going to be clicking here on this indicators tab right here, and then we're going to search for any indicator we'd like to use. So for example, if we use the super trend indicator, right there I'm going to click on this and it's going to load up the indicator. And for me to get this source code, because it is open source, if I hover over this indicator and I see there's a brackets that says source code, then you know it's open source. Now if you maybe have an indicator in your chart and you're not sure if it's open source or not, if this icon is not there, then you can't modify the code and you can't really convert it or make modifications to it. So I'm just going to click here on the source code. I'm just going to clear what I have right there. And now here at the bottom, you must make sure that you're under the Pine editor section. If not, then you wouldn't see this. So just make sure you're clicking on Pine and to drag this up. Sometimes it's at drag down and you don't see anything. So once it's visible, I'm just going to click on create a working copy. And once we've done that, we can actually start editing and changing the code. So we're going to start off by copying this. And we will go to our ChatGPT model. So I'm going to be using 4.0, and this is going to be on the Plus ChatGPT plan. But you can use it on any of their plans if you'd like, or you can try something like DeepSeek. DeepSeek is a free alternative, and it's pretty much just as accurate as ChatGPT. Now, something that I also like to do is I like to add a link to the source code of PineScript to the model, because otherwise it might get confusing, or it doesn't give you always the correct stuff. You will run into a lot of errors and it's difficult to debug that. So if you go to Tradingview PineScript documentation, or this is going to be the link, PineScript reference, then you should see this page. Now here on the bottom left, you'll see that there's going to be a version. Now it depends on what version of Pine you're running on your indicator, but to see that on Tradingview at the top, you'll see the /add version, and you can see we're using version 6. So on this documentation, we want to make sure that we are also here on version 6. I'm going to copy this link and I'll just paste this as well with my code to ChatGPT. And now here at the bottom, we're going to ask it to convert this indicator to a strategy. And let's first start by just doing that before we actually add more features like take profit, stop loss, or anything like that. We're going to ask it that, see if it runs into any issues by copying and pasting it in our Tradingview. So we'll just wait for it to finish. Okay, so now we can see that it completed generating that into a strategy. There's already some issues that I see, but it's fine. If we go ahead and add this to our chart and remove the previous one, we can now see when, you can't use when anymore. Now you can just go ahead and you can copy this exact issue that you're getting, and you can just go ahead and paste it back to ChatGPT. Now the reason why when isn't working is because in version 6 it needs to be in an if statement, but if you don't know how to do that, then you can just ask ChatGPT and it should be able to solve that for us. So we'll just wait, and they also tell you what the reason is. So once this is done, we can just take the new version, copy that and paste it into our Tradingview. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and clear everything out, paste in the new version, and then add to chart again. And now we can see that it's adding it without any issues. Now this might not be the best strategy that you want to automate, because you might want to make some changes first to see if you can get this profitable trades up, maybe a lower drawdown, and to actually get that total P&L positive. Now the reason why all of this data is pretty much very random is because in the settings and the inputs and the properties, you can see that there might be a bit of unrealistic data in here. For example, the initial capital, let's say we're trading with $1,000, then you'll see that everything also changes a bit, and it becomes more realistic to what you could expect. Now there's a few things that you could change depending on your TradingView plan. You'll also get like this extra few settings like bar magnifier or all those, but that's not really necessary to get a good strategy. You just need to have a proper system on how you'd like to take profit, how you want to manage your risk, and then you can use AI to make those changes to your script, and then it can help you fine tune for a better performance strategy. So what we need to do is we need to be able to add alerts as well. Now I do have other videos on showing you how you can add alerts to these strategies, and if we go back to Pine Editor and we scroll down, we can see that it tried to add these alert conditions. Now you can't use these alert conditions in a strategy because it doesn't work like that. Alert conditions is for indicators, or that's as far as I'm aware since version 5. I'm not sure if this has changed. But if you go to docs.crawltrading.com, a link for that in the description as well, I do have a tab called New Strategy Alerts, and there's also a video to this if you want to check it on YouTube. But this is going to give you a quick snippet or template of how to add these alerts, and I'm just going to copy that. And again, we can ask ChatGPT to also do this for us, but I've found it to be pretty back and forth when doing that, because it keeps on giving you different scenarios or code, because there's a few ways you can set alerts on TradingView. Now we can see that we have this close and this open right here. So I'm just going to move this code up. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it right there. Now this is obviously just our template data, and we need to actually map it to what's happening in the strategy. Now what we need to do is we just need to go ahead and copy this, actually just the alert message, and then we need to paste it in there. And we can do the same thing for the short, but we should just use this short message. Now we're going to delete this because we're no longer using that. All we need to do is make sure we have these input boxes, and we also need to do the same thing for our exit. So we can just go ahead and copy and paste again, and this makes it really simple for us. So we can just go ahead and say long exit and short exit. So yeah, you just have to change this everywhere so you don't get confused when using it. So I'm just going to do this quickly, and then we also need to change this long string. We can just call that exit and do the same here. And then under the tooltip, you just have to provide the new tooltip variable. So once we have that done, we can just use this message as well. So under alert message, what you'd have right there, you're going to paste the same thing in the close. So we have alert message, and we're going to use this for long exit message, and we can do the same thing for the closing of the shorts. So let's call that short exit message. So once we've done this, we basically have everything that we need for alerts as well. So if we go ahead and update this on our chart, I'm just going to remove that version. We should be able to open up these settings, and under inputs we now have these exit boxes, and this is where we'll paste our conditions for our trading boards. It really depends on what board you're using, and if you're using the Crodl trading board, then obviously there's a lot of documentation and videos on how to set it up, and then it will all make sense. But this is basically how you can use AI to make modifications to your indicators, convert it to strategies. And another thing we can do is we can now take this new version, and we can just go ahead and say we can create a new chat to not confuse it with what we've already done, because it does keep memory. But we can paste this and just ask it to add a take profit and stop loss of 1%. And again, I'm just going to paste the documentation in there. Okay, so now it's completed in generating a script with the take profit and stop loss. I'm just going to take that, and to not lose our current version, I'm just going to comment it out and say add to chart. Let's see if there's any errors in generating this. So far it seems good. And now we can see that it actually, starts looking a bit better. And if we go to our settings, we should be able to see take profit and stop loss value. Okay, so there's no inputs in that. We can also ask it to do it for us. So what I mean by that is the value seems to be hard coded in here, which is the 1% take profit and the 1% stop loss. What you can do is you can just ask it, make these to inputs, turn these into inputs. So if it does turn it into inputs, we can just copy that piece of code, paste it in there, and then we should be able to adjust this from our indicator settings. Okay, so it seems to, doing everything from scratch. We can say to speed us up, just give me the 2 lines of code. So it should just give us that snippet that's required, because we don't necessarily have to redo everything. We just want to turn that hard-coded values into inputs. So right here we can see input.float, and that's going to be what's required. So I'm just going to clear this out now. And if I go ahead and add this to my chart, we should be able to see those inputs in our settings. So if I scroll down right here, we can now adjust it directly from our settings. So if we go ahead and change this, you can see that this is affecting our strategy. So that's really how simple it is to use these AI models to generate Pine. Now, in a lot earlier versions of ChatGPT, like version 2 and so on, it really ran into a lot of issues when you try to do anything with Pine. Now, I think because a lot of people are using this and it's actually learning, and also based on the documentation, it's starting to be a bit more robust and easily to give you the correct outputs, or what you're at least asking it to do. Now, for the second part of the update is if you go to waitlist.crodl.com, you will see that there's going to be a new interface with a video, and if you click on that video, there's going to be a walkthrough on what you could expect with a new trading board. Now, I'm not going to cover that again because I already did it on that video, so I do suggest that you watch that rather, because it's a bit more in detail. But basically, to sum it up, in the last few months I've been working on a new platform, and this platform is specifically starting for Blofin. And if you join the waitlist, you will see that there's going to be a link, and if you sign up with the Blofin referral code, you can just go ahead and submit your details, and that will automatically enter you into this waiting list. And as soon as I'm launching that platform and we've reached 100 users in the waiting list, then I will officially release it, and I will also send emails out to those. So make sure that you are adding the correct info right here, because if the info is not correct, you will not receive the email, and you will also not be added to the waiting list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or any suggestions, make sure to leave them in the comment section, or check out our Discord at crawltrading/discord, and I will see you in the next video.